We're ready to go, so I'm going to call the July 29th, 2025 meeting of the town board to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Present.
Councilmember Delarada. Absent. Councilmember McPartlin.
Here.
Councilmember Brennan.
Here.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag. We wish to respectfully acknowledge that Niskayuna is on the traditional lands of the Kanikahaka and Mohikonuk peoples, past and present, and we honor with gratitude the land itself and the peoples who have stewarded this land throughout generations. And I want to thank Dennis Brennan for sending me an email and helping me with the pronunciation because I was stumbling my way through it. So thank you. We're going to start with approval of the minutes. So may I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the regular town board meeting for June 24th, 2025?
Motion to approve the minutes from the June 24, 2025 regular town board meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any changes? Comments? Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, minutes are approved, and we're going to move on to a special presentation on our natural resources inventory by Ashok Subramanian.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the natural resources inventory. My name is Ashok Ramasubramanian, and I'm here representing the Conservation Advisory Council, and I am the project lead within the CAC for this natural resources inventory project. So it was done in 2 phases, and these are the recommendations from phase 2. So the natural resources inventory, as the name indicates, is an inventory of the town's natural resources. And it's simply cataloging how much nature that we have in our town. So very briefly, let me begin by saying that time spent in nature is essential. It's not just important, it is essential. And I'm a scientist, and I like to make my decisions based on literature and published research rather than opinions. So here's a study quoted by the Wall Street Journal, and a lot of this started getting attention in time of the pandemic. So if you read the subtitle there, the physical and mental damage inflicted by COVID has doctors and researchers and others racing to tap into nature's therapeutic effects. This is an article in the New York Times. Nature deficit disorder really is a thing. Children's behavior may suffer from lack of access to outdoor space. And children's participation has been especially important for the Niskayuna NRI. That is a point that I'm going to come back to later. A little bit more scientific literature, because why not? Happiness is greater in more scenic locations. And spending at least 120 minutes a week in nature is associated with good health and well-being. This study also found that spending time in nature is associated with lower risks of cardiovascular health, cancer, and such. So, unsurprisingly, all of this literature is quite aligned with what the residents of Niskayuna actually want. So in addition to serving on the Conservation Advisory Council, I also serve on the Comprehensive Planning Committee. And earlier this year, we did a survey of town residents, and this is question 21 from the survey. And the left-hand side is the prompt: what would you like to see enhanced or protected in the town of Niskayuna over the next 10 years? On the right-hand side is what's called a word cloud. We take the responses to this open-ended question and highlight which ones are what the residents are frequently talking about. And green space, trees, parks, clearly raised to the top. At the bottom is simply a word count. The word green space appeared 85 times in the answer to that question. The word trees appeared 50 times, and so on. This slide is important. It is important to note that the NRI is not an enemy of development and economic growth. Instead, it allows for smart growth. So the process brings communities together, and it actually helps developers by identifying wetlands, protected species, and other items that are important in the seeker review process that we at the CAC undertake. And you can see the children involved there. So we made a special effort to reach out to Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and to get the young people involved in this process. So features of the Niskayuna NRI was done in phases, was volunteer-led. Community participation is a key feature, and this is something that we at the CAC and me personally are especially proud of. It actually sets us apart from even communities in the greater Mohawk Hudson Valley and Capital Region to really have community participation and everyone involved. In the photograph, you can see Jim Nordgren in the middle. The left-hand side is actually my son, and you can see Laura Robertson in the photograph too. And it's done at little cost to the town. So the phase 1 was done with a $2,000 grant from the Niskayuna Community Foundation, and phase 2 was done with a $15,000 grant from the DEC. So what are the recommendations? So recommendation number 1 is improvements to existing parks. Fieldstone Park will benefit from a proper entrance signage along with improvements to existing trails. Similar signage improvements for Imperial Forest Park. Community Center Forest, we are working with the Niski Trails group to maintain some hiking trails there. And the wonderful Stanford Park, probably the least known of all Niskayuna parks. Currently, there's no parking, no signage, and no trails, but it's a wonderful park. Niskayuna is actually like extremely rich in very beautiful parkland, and the NRI recommends having better print literature and website information to have residents more aware of it, as well as improve existing parks. Recommendation number 2, strategic acquisitions or easements to benefit residents. Lands that provide a corridor to existing parcels are particularly valuable. Collaborating with the town of Colony to protect lands that border the Maple Lane Park. This was something that surprised even seasoned Niskayuna observers, like when we visited this tiny little Maple Lane Park and we took a view from it towards Colony, it suddenly felt like we were in the Adirondack Mountains. It's like incredibly beautiful land. So I mentioned that we do this without putting a financial burden on the town. So the NRI process has also identified a bunch of funding mechanisms that we can tap into. The Climate Smarts Communities grant from the DEC sets aside specific grant monies for land acquisition. The Mohawk River Basin Agenda, also from the DEC, that's what funded the second phase of the NRI. The Community Forest Program, the DEC has one, and the federal government has one too, as well as partnership with local land trusts such as the Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy. So recommendation number 3 is continuation of existing initiatives. The LoBMO initiative, which is currently going on at Blatnick Park, is a spectacular success. A lot of the meadowland and grassland birds are coming back. The photograph taken by Roy Thornton shows the eastern bluebird and the bobolink taken at Blatnick Park this year. So, and it's also important to know that like mowing an acre of land less every year actually saves the town a lot of money. Then pesticide reduction is another initiative that the NRI recommends, and tree planting, like, you know, if you look at the word cloud again on the upper right-hand side, the thing that competes with green space in terms of resident wishes, that's my 7-minute timer, is trees. And that's all I had to say. There is a resolution 25-178 that recommends adoption of this. We are also having two other green initiatives today on the docket, 2025-180 for the climate, for the greenhouse gas inventory, and 2525-181 for the Climate Smarts Communities Grant Program. And I'm in strong support of all of those, along with members of the CAC. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashok. All right, we are going to move on to privilege of the floor. And again, we ask that you respect the policy to limit your comments to 3 minutes. And we're going to begin with those who signed up in advance.
Mike?
Oh. Glad I didn't have to talk with that thing. Hi, everybody. My name's Mike. I live on Console Road. Once again, I'm addressing the board. Please do something about the excessive speeding on Console Road between 3450 Console Road and Buckingham Console Road. This makes my 11th time I've come here, and this makes the 11th time I have not gotten any written response like I have asked. Now, my other thing is I'm going to ask every one of you people up there, and none of you have ever said it. Are you committed to public safety, or are you just up there collecting your pay? The second thing is you are supposed to be the town supervisor. Last week, I gave this message to you, and you said to me, it's on record. I don't know why you're giving me this because I'm just a town board member. You're the supervisor. Supervisors run the town. I don't want a supervisor that's in there doing on-the-job training. I've asked this, and I've asked this. And you wonder why people get mad at federal or at governments? You should be ashamed of yourselves. You talk about all these things you're doing for the town and all these other good things. Your integrity sucks. You stand there and tell me this and this and this. And it just, you guys are running for election, and I am not a Democrat and I am not a Republican, but I am publicly saying the only way you people are going to change is if you get voted out. And I hope for sure that this is just a little thing that you guys need to come truthful with the public instead of sitting up there and just, I'm only one person. But like I said before, one person can cut down a tree. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Platt. Do we have anybody else on the list?
John Rickard?
Good evening, everyone. John Rickard, 16 Brendan Lane. You know, I have to tell you, I find it quite paradoxical that we begin these meetings by paying tribute to the natives that inhabited these lands, but yet under New York State's infinite wisdom, our school can't be the Niskayuna Silver Warriors. If someone could explain that to me. But anyway, I'm here tonight on behalf of a growing number of residents who are concerned about the town's transparency when it comes to our financial position. I am formally requesting that more information be made available on the town website. Last time I was here, I requested an audit be conducted. The supervisor indicated that an RFP was in the works. However, what I am looking for is not the required audit that is done by CUSAC. I'm looking for an operational audit that shows where we are financially vulnerable, particularly in light of our percentage of debt service and our use of fund balance. I'm requesting that more information be shared regarding the Raftelis report on the water bills. Let's get that information out to the public who have continued concerns. Let's get a clear plan to address the water bills on the website for everyone to see. We have a confidence problem right now. In my meetings with residents, they're looking for answers and for more information. Let's not make our residents foil information when it comes to financial matters. Let's be open and transparent about our current position. Let's create a section on the town website where we have quarterly reports that are posted, reflect our transactions, and reflect our cash position. Let's have a transparent budget process where information is publicly shared and posted, and residents can participate freely. Let's be sensitive to our residents' concerns so that we can restore confidence and have a financially sound and economically transparent plan. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. Would anybody else like to speak? That's the last on our list. Whichever of you wants to go first is fine.
Good evening, Jeffrey Stringer, 3483 Rosendale Road, which is right next to Lions Park. And I'd just like to speak to the degradation of the park. It's just aging. The furniture, the benches, the park benches that have been there for a long time are in disrepair. The gazebo needs work, and the gazebo was vandalized a couple of weeks ago. Reported to the police. I don't know if any of you know about that. The police department does not respond well to intruders in the park after dark, and vandalism occurs usually after dark. The train station itself is in desperate need of restoration. The windows are falling apart. The deck is unsafe. It's been blocked off for almost 2 years now. The roof is marginally accessible to creatures. In the past month, there's been a family of raccoons that invaded the structure, did significant damage to the property that was contained therein. The parking lot. All in all, it just needs to be refreshed. It's quite beautiful, and it needs a trash bin. And I've spoken to this several times in the past 30 years that I've lived there. There is a repository for dog feces, which made a great deal of difference, made a significant difference in the amount of litter that was in the park on a daily basis. Most people respond quite well to the free bags to pick up. Not everyone, but most people do. But there is a significant bottle and paper litter, much of it generated after dark. Because I live next to the park, I go there 2 or 3 times a day, walk the dog, take a look at it, what have you, sit on the bench. And it'll be clean at dinner time. And then the next morning, people are there at night. And I don't think that's right. It's posted to be closed after sundown and not open again until after sunrise. And it's not honored by this police department. It is not looked after in that way. I would just ask that something be suggested that be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Joseph Yekel, 914 Vroman. Just wanted to touch for a minute on Resolution 2025-172. This is the resolution authorizing the contract for the utility billing software. I know Matt Yetto has talked about this software in committee meetings in the past. I believe you brought it up as well, Jason. I don't think this software works real good for the town. It's got some issues, but it's a lot of money that we're putting out for another $5,800 for this half of the year. It's almost $12,000. So I'm hoping that with the Raftellus study that you're doing, you're looking at some options to get some software that's efficient, maybe more cost effective, that's going to be more beneficial. I don't know this software, but what I sense from hearing conversations is that you're kind of throwing good money away after this because it's just not doing what the town needs it to do. So I hope this is the last contract for that, and then you can move on to something better that's more effective. That just quickly brings me to the Raftellus study. I haven't seen anything about that yet. Supervisor, I exchanged an email with you about some slides. I haven't seen them. I'd like to see information. I'd rather not wait till August or September. We just got through the end of June, so the billing cycle for the first half of the year is done, and it's been very hot. People are using a lot more electricity, a lot more water, and now we're into the first month now of the next billing cycle. So we're going to get these water and sewer bills again in October for the first half of the year. And I'm dismayed that I haven't seen anything going on with changes to the utility rate. I think it's really important that we not hold these cards too close to the vest. If you have information, it should be brought forward as soon as we can get it. It kind of touches on the same point that John Rickert brought up about some of the transparency. I think the more information that we can get out to the public, the better. I much prefer making a call to Matt directly or talking to Eric and asking a question about property taxes or water and sewer than having to submit a FOIL to Michelle. I really would rather just make a phone call and know that I can get information from whatever department it is within a matter of a couple of days or so and not have to go through all the formality. I can do that, but I don't like to do that. And I think it creates more work for everybody that's sitting behind a desk. So I'd like to see some changes with that. And down to my last 20 seconds, I would just like to echo the gentleman's comments that was just before me about the parks. I think the chief does a good job with the police force in Niskayuna. I know he's responsive, but this gentleman just brought up a great point. After hours, when the park shouldn't be accessible, maybe do something with some additional patrols and just run through the parks periodically. And if you see people that are in there, kick them out of there so that the parks don't get vandalized like what happened with the pickleball court recently. And we just keep it clean. I think there's a lot of basic things that we can do and maybe just introduce an additional patrol. And that may solve some of the problems that are being talked about. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Yako. Do we have anyone else?
Good evening, Linda Rizzo, 2229 Fairlawn Parkway, Niskayuna, New York. I asked at the last meeting why the May and June sewer and water meetings weren't posted. I could not receive a direct answer to a very simple question. Finally, the town attorney responded that it was an oversight because of new employees being hired. It took the town attorney to answer my simple question. She's getting paid $90,000 a year to answer questions like this. If we can't get a simple answer to an uncomplicated question, how can we trust transparency on serious issues? The transfer station may be closed, but it's not forgotten. The transfer station was eliminated because of $19,000 operating deficit. Coincidentally, I received an answer to how much the outside attorney was paid since 2025. For 2025, he has been paid to date $18,000. The town, for his own benefit, has no problem paying an outside attorney $18,000 so far for 2025, but has a problem keeping the transfer station open for taxpayers because of a $19,000 deficit. For your own convenience, you don't mind paying this money. But for the convenience of the taxpayers, you tend to have a problem by cutting off provided service. Whether it services 200, 300, 400 people, these are taxpayers. I also question holding any budget hearings and discussions on the Raftyllis water sewer study during August. People are on vacation. This certainly doesn't indicate an interest in transparency holding meetings in August unless you don't want people coming, you don't want input, and you don't care what people have to say. I agree with what John Rickert said about the issue of transparency, budgeting, etc. And I still maintain we need an audit, not the audit you talk about, Aaron. That's just pro forma audits that you are required to do. I'm talking about an operational audit. An operational audit looks at where you're overspending, where you're underspending, where the waste is. That type of audit, you need an outside auditing firm to come in, and preferably an apolitical outside auditing firm. So I would hope you would keep those things in mind. Have a good evening.
Would anybody else like to speak? Okay, we will close privilege of the floor. Move on to committee reports. We'll start with police and public safety.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Police and Public Safety Committee met on July 15th. Under building, we discussed the air conditioning and that Ray Smith has a company here monitoring the functioning of our current system. Under training, the department is participating in a high-risk traffic stop training. Officer Comanzo and Detective Munger will be attending Schenectady County Faro training, which is an instrument that can 3D map a crime scene for investigations and can also do crash analysis. We also have Sergeant Party and Officer Breslin attending the New York State Overdose and Mental Health Awareness webinar. For citizen correspondence, we had a resident complain of a loud muffler on their road, on their street, Balltown Road, that was going by frequently during the day. The muffler sounded kind of like gunshots going off. We had a special thank you to Officers O'Brien and Comanzo, who individually went and attended to this, were able to find the vehicle and address it with the owner to comply with New York State law. For town events, we have Coffee with a Cop on the third Tuesday monthly with Chief Koshin at the Senior Center. We have National Night Out coming up. That'll be on Zenner Road on August 5th from 6 to 9 p.m. That's being spearheaded by Courtney McGavero. That should be a great night for everyone to have some community connections with our first responders. Mohawk Hudson Marathon is October 12th. We'll be supporting this event again. It goes through our town and through our bike paths. Under Town Clerk, we discussed the FOIL fee that was established. For Court and Town Attorney, we discussed extreme risk protection order cases, unlicensed dogs, and 2 dangerous dog cases that are ongoing, as well as the bus patrol hearings that are ongoing. For the school district, we are working with the district to create an MOU for the school resource officer position. Under personnel, we were excited to interview, offer a job, and have it accepted by James Spencer. He comes to us from Schoharie County. He has a background in the Army and other just great knowledge and life experiences that he's going to be bringing to this role. So we have a resolution to hire him tonight. For other, we have the Town of Niskayuna local law regarding airsoft and BB guns. Chief Koshin talked about that this will be a monetary fine if someone is seen off their private property with an airsoft or BB guns. They cannot be in public spaces, and we're hoping to prevent a tragedy as they look like real handguns and real rifles, hoping to protect our public and our officers. So for resolutions tonight, oh, one more thing. We had a surprise addition to our agenda. We have something fun. Ian Munger, who is one of our detectives, used to work in Maine, and there was a community outreach program in Maine that was actually like a police department playing cards, trading cards, where officers could give kids like trading cards that would tell them about the officers or about a special piece of equipment. And it was kind of like a community engagement just opportunity, something fun. Chief Koshin told him, if you can get funding for it, let's do it. And Detective Munger went out. He wrote a grant for the Community Foundation, who approved it. And we have a resolution to accept that grant tonight. So that will be something fun coming our way soon. So we have that up for resolution. We also have the appointment of James Spencer. We have a public hearing resolution for changes to the town code for that airsoft BB gun regulation. We have, that's actually it for tonight. So our next meeting will be August 12th at 5 o'clock.
Great. Thank you. We'll move on to highway and community programs.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. We met on July 1st at 8 a.m. here. Our highway department is headed by Ray Smith. We discussed the work that our town is doing and the town employees are doing in readying our roads for our paving, which has been going on this summer. There were a few days that we had some high heat, high temperatures, so our paving got a little bit delayed, but we're hopeful that we can get back on track with our schedule as far as paving. That information is also posted on the website, so people can keep an eye on that. Personnel-wise, we are still looking to hire one person, grounds worker for our Parks Department. This is all budgeted money, still looking for that for that individual. We discussed the basketball courts and the resurfacing of the basketball courts at Blatnick and River Road Park. That should be taking place, and that was all approved and budgeted money, and grant money also involved in that. Yard waste pickup, please look at the website for the flyer on yard waste pickup. This year, we've had a lot of yard waste. I think a lot of that was brought on by May being a very wet month. So we've had a lot more yard waste than we've had in the past. We continue to pick it up. We've just changed and tweaked the scheduling of that a little bit. For our open discussion during the meeting, we discussed a little bit about a fence possibly at Blatnick Park near the basketball courts. And we also talked about our camps starting in July. So then we move on to community programs with Lori Peretti, gave a town pool update. All's going well at the town pool. We discussed possibly going to a cashless system there at our town pool. We have a concession stand there, so we're putting those ideas together, possibly going with a cashless system there. The attendance at the pool programs up there have been excellent. Our summer programs are in full swing in community programs, lots of camps, lots of young people and kids involved in our summer programs. Everything is going very well with our summer programs. Also, our concerts, I mentioned that every meeting in the summer, Thursday nights, we have free concerts right here at Town Hall, right out there at the gazebo. They've been very well attended, and we've had excellent support and excellent bands and entertainment. I say it every week, every month. It's the best show in town. Please come out for our free concerts. The farmers market is now at the high school. So I just say that as a public service announcement. It's not here at our town hall green. It got moved over to the high school for more room and for some safety concerns. So please support the farmers market at its new location. Next Tuesday, August 5th is National Night Out. We did this last year and it had a really, really great turnout. We're hopeful that we're going to have the same sort of turnout. This year, we're going to have it over at Zenner Road because really with the turnout that we had last year, it was too big for our space here. So we're hoping for the same turnout. August 5th over at Zenner Road, again, on the website, a lot of information about that. Then we close our meeting with our seniors program update. That is down at our community center on Aqueduct Road and Senior Center. A lot of programs down there, walking clubs, water aerobics, art programs. We had an Eagle Scout doing a project down there on this near the stair entry to the center and down toward the senior center. So we're very thankful for that. We want to thank the Eagle Scout for doing that and recommend to anybody that is looking for seniors programs, please check out their webpage and their Facebook page. They have a lot of programming and a lot of great things going on down there. If you know a senior that you think might need some, extra activity, send them that way down there. And our next meeting will be August 7th at 8 a.m.
Great. Thank you very much. We'll move on to water, sewer, and engineering.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I'm going to keep my report very short and brief tonight. We met earlier this month on July 9th. We did have a last-minute scheduling issue, so I apologize again for that and appreciate everyone's flexibility. Over the last several months, I've reported on the River Road water main project that's in the works. This is a nearly $2 million project in which the water main that runs from Research Circle to Blatnick Park will be replaced due to its aging infrastructure and the amount of industrial complexes that it services. We have spent a considerable amount of time since the design work was completed finding funding sources. And we do have a very promising potential source for funding, which we are continuing to look into and investigate. Down at the wastewater treatment plant, we continue to receive 2 trucks per day of waste from Chobani, in addition to the other deliveries that we receive from septic haulers. I just learned today, actually, that Chobani contacted the town asking to increase their deliveries. And so that's great news for us as we continue to make our plant a net zero facility. Last month, we approved several repairs to be completed at water and sewer facilities throughout the town. Those repairs have begun, and our superintendent of water and sewer is working on obtaining quotes for repairs that have not yet started. And again, those repairs are being funded by our repair reserve fund, which is money that has been set aside specifically for these repairs. We do have 2 positions still available in the water and sewer department. We are currently looking for an equipment operator and a plant mechanic. Anyone who's interested in joining the town's workforce should visit niskuna.org and click on the employment tab for more information. As far as resolutions on tonight's agenda, we will be voting to authorize the signing of a standard fence easement agreement. We will be voting to approve the first quarter corporate utility rents, as well as the approval of utility billings, a utility billing software contract, and paving repairs on Ruffner Road that are needed after a water main break in that area. The Water and Sewer and Engineering Committee will next meet on Thursday, August 7th at 4:30. I did check the website and it is on there. So thank you to Courtney or whoever put that on there. I appreciate it. And the public is always welcome to attend. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. And we don't have Councilmember Delarada, so I have some notes from our meeting. As we go through the resolutions, I'll try to add some context so that you understand what was discussed during the meeting. I'll be relatively brief as well. So the Comptroller, Kara Parks, and I have started some preliminary budget meetings with the departments. And while I would love to not talk budget in August, the tentative budget is due September 30th. So it's in my opinion that the longer we can put information out there and gather public opinion and resident support or criticism, the better the budget will look initially and the less work we have to do moving forward. So it is not my choice of timing, but that is the timing that we have to abide by. So I have some tentative dates, not only for budget workshops, which are what everybody is used to, where the whole town board is here and we talk through the different budgets with different department heads. We have really kind of back and forth conversation about it. It's relatively formal in that, it's not a big group conversation, but I thought there were some areas of the budget where I felt like some discussion with residents was really warranted. So in addition to those workshops, we'll have smaller meetings that will be mostly run by me in a presentation format and then a discussion format. And I have some tentative dates for those. I will tell you the Raftellus one is on for set for tentatively. I just want to make sure it works with everybody's schedule, but tentatively I had set for September 4th. Again, the tentative budget is due at the end of the month and we still need time to talk as a board. So we really do need to have those as early as possible. During that meeting, we're going to go through all of the finer points of the Raftellus project. I think that there is a real problem with putting tentative information out there for people to review. I think it just creates a lot of misinformation, as we see on social media and other places. And I think it's really beneficial to make sure that we put the most accurate data out there as possible for residents to look at and respond to. So with that, we've seen the Raftellus project change over time, and it has to do with things like things we talked about today, the allocation of salaries into those funds, as opposed to the general fund or the highway fund. We talked about capital projects that need to happen versus ones that we would like to happen. So those things all feed into what the rate is now and how we got there, and then also what the rate needs to be moving forward and what we can expect over the next few years. So to put preliminary information out there might feel good to look at, but it's going to cause a lot of confusion, and I would much prefer to put out a draft that Raftellus has sort of approved as a draft. So with that, you can follow up. We'll talk about it in the August meeting to make sure we firm up that date of September 4th. But in addition to that, I have 2 other meetings that will be relatively informal in that same format. One will focus on services in general, where we take a look at some of the revenues that come in. We kind of talk about those in pieces during the budget process, but we don't necessarily match them up with how much those services cost. And I think it would be beneficial for the town to understand what goes into the costs that we have to charge for. With that, I want to isolate yard waste as a completely separate topic, because that is a problem and will continue to be a problem. And we all have to have a conversation about what we want that to look like, because it's not necessarily sustainable in the format that it is. So I would love to give you all that information and some ideas and some things that we've kind of talked about to either reduce costs or change the service so I'd like to have a separate meeting about that so that we can work through some of those things. And not necessarily make immediate changes, but start the conversation about where this needs to go in the future. So those are 3 separate sessions that will not be full board meetings, but will be informal, more discussion-based meetings for the public. So that's something to look forward to. I want to talk about a couple of meetings that we've had since the last town board meeting. DOT reached out to us recently, and we had a discussion in which we talked about some traffic calming efforts that we would be able to put into place relatively soon on Route 7. I don't know that it is everything we dreamed it would be, but it's better than nothing. And so we're waiting for some of those things. I think one of them is approved, and the other one we're sort of waiting to go through the approval process so that we can get funding for it. It is a state road. It is not a town road. And so we really need DOT's support in anything that we do. So as soon as we are 100% sure that those things are moving forward, we'll be ready to announce them, but we are trying to get something moving forward on there because this has been sort of a long haul, and something is better than nothing. We also had a really productive meeting that I don't think is a meeting that normally happens, and I'm going to suggest that it happens more often, but we got the school district administration and a bunch of county officials in the same room. It was a gigantic meeting. I didn't even expect it to be that big, but we got so much accomplished in an hour and 15 minutes, and most of it was about the area of town surrounding Van Antwerp School and Hillside School. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and it impacts the school, and the county roads include Grand Boulevard and Van Antwerp, right? So anything that we do in that area, talk about solutions, crosswalks, any of that, we have to have the county involved and know what their sort of thoughts and planning are for that area as well. At the same time, we have the school district ready to start some construction. And with that comes a change in parent drop-off. And with that, we talked about Story Avenue and the accidents that have happened there recently based on some left-hand turns off of Balltown Road that were precarious for tractor trailers. All of those things are kind of contributing to a really weird area. And when we have conversations here about it, we can talk about solutions we think might work, but we thought it better to have everyone in the same room to talk about what really is possible and to get some better ideas. And that's exactly what we did. So we're working through the legality of the things that we want to implement. The county has been very receptive in helping us with that. They're also going to be paving Grand Boulevard. So before we start any kind of work, I think it's helpful to make sure we know where we're going. Even if we can't get everything accomplished right away, we're working in succession so that we know where we're headed. And then just this morning, we had a conversation with Friends of Niskayuna Trails, Josh Bennett, who is awesome. He has helped us tremendously with the new piece of land that was transferred to the town last year, which most commonly referred to are the trails in there called the John Brown Trails. We got a $100,000 grant from Phil Stack's office last year for these trails, and we have to figure out the best way to use it. So we thought we better bring Josh in to see what his opinion is about what they would like to see. So we went through a whole iteration. We're going to try to tease out the best way to use the funds, but we've got that ball rolling, and I appreciate Josh taking his time to come in and really talk through all of the notes and comments and things that he's had with other members of Niskay Trails. And then we're moving forward on this. It'll be on the next agenda, but I couldn't have agreed more with the gentleman who was in here talking about Lions Park. And in fact, our highway superintendent, Ray, couldn't agree more as well. So we need to replace those benches, and we need to replace the picnic tables. And I agree. I don't like the way they look. I don't think anybody does. And we have some grant funds that we're going to reallocate to just that purpose. And at the same time, if you've heard through this meeting, we'd like to honor and highlight somebody that's helped us with the train station over the years. We're going to be able to use those as a way to kind of pay homage to someone that has helped us a lot in that area. So we're going to wrap those two projects together. So if you are super interested in what the benches and picnic tables will look like, they'll be shown during the next meeting. I guess we can bring in some images of it, but they're much more sustainable. They have a much longer warranty. They look great. And I think that they'll survive a lot longer than the wooden ones that are there. In addition to, I think we're going to replace some of the fencing that's not looking so great in the front there. It'll be a piece by piece look because we're trying not to spend any of the funds that we have. We're trying to use grant money for it. So we'll piece it out, but we're definitely addressing that problem. So I'm sorry, I talked more than I wanted to. But the only other thing that I wanted to highlight, and I was hoping that Mr. Yeakel would be here, but the $5,800 for that software, just to give you context, when we looked at other softwares, the two quotes that I received were $38,000 and $46,000 for utility billing software. So that is really cheap software, which is the reason we've been so hesitant to kind of move forward with it. We want to make sure whatever we're selecting is exactly what we want if we're going to have to spend that kind of money. And I'm happy to talk with anybody who wants to go through the details and specs and things that we've been looking for. Reptiles is actually helping us a little bit with this so that we can make the best choice. But I just want to make sure that we have context for the numbers that are thrown around during these meetings. In addition, there was a woman who talked about the amount of money we spend on an outside counsel. Typically, Elaine is not on her own here. The town attorney usually has a deputy town attorney. We don't have one. We haven't been able to hire one. But if we did, that would be in the neighborhood of $40,000 to $50,000 to $60,000 for a part-time attorney, and we're spending 18. Context is important. So with that, I am going to move on to our resolutions, and we'll start with 2025-165, sponsored by Councilmember Moskowitz.
A resolution authorizing the supervisor to enter into a fence easement agreement with the owners of 833 Red Oak Drive.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this one? All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes under 2025-166, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan.
A resolution hiring a police officer in the Niskuna Police Department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No, again, this is James Spencer coming to us from Schoharie. He's actually, he'd be here tonight, I think, but he is training with the Army Reserves. But we're very excited to have him join our team.
Great. Any other discussion? All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes. 2025-168, sponsored by Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
A resolution approving the reconciliation of corporate utility rents for the first quarter of 2025.
Do I have a different version?
Oh,
167? No. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It's 167. You're right.
167.
Yes.
167. That's
Do I have
what
a
I read.
second? You're right. Yeah.
Yes.
I said 167.
Councilmember Moss. I
Uh,
will second.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any discussion? All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes on to 2025-168, sponsored by Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
A resolution certifying the current base proportions to be used as class tax share for municipal and school district levies.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes on to 2025-169, sponsored by Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
A resolution certifying the adjusted base proportions to be used as class tax shares for municipal and school district levies.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes on to 2025-170, sponsored by Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
A resolution authorizing certain budgetary modifications and interfund transfers.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes. And forgive me.
Just introduce it.
That's it?
Yeah, there's
Okay,
just a typo on the agenda.
Okay.
It says 2024 and it's supposed to be 2025.
Okay. The introduction of proposed law E 2025, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. And 2025-171, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan.
A resolution calling for a public hearing on proposed local law E 2025 to amend the town code of the town of Niskuna to place restrictions on the possession and discharge of airsoft guns within the town.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? All right. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes,
4 ayes.
the resolution passes. On to 2025-172, sponsored by Councilmember Moskowitz.
A resolution authorizing the renewal of a contract for utility billing software in the Water and Sewer Department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this?
I just want to thank you for explaining that.
I don't want that software any more than anybody else
I know,
does.
but we're stuck with it for a little while longer.
Just a little bit. Okay. Any more discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes,
4 ayes.
resolution passes on to 2025-173, sponsored by Councilmember Moskowitz.
A resolution authorizing paving repairs for Ruffner Road.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? I live on Ruffner Road and wow, it's like really bad. So I'm
Yeah,
excited
well,
that we're
thanks for-
passing that today.
Matt and Ray working together, piggybacking on an already existing contract for pavings.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm hopeful they get started quickly. Any other discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes on to 2025-174, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan.
A resolution accepting grant monies for the use in Niskuna Police Department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
This is the cards, right?
Yes, this is the community engagement card trading. Yeah.
I'm really excited. Thanks. Okay. Any other discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
Resolution passes on to 2025-175, sponsored by Councilmember Delarada.
A resolution appointing an individual to the Tree Council.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Just because John's not here for some information on the new appointee, potential appointee. I knew her, actually, I went to high school with her, and she has been a volunteer in so many things. She's really an amazing community member and really gives herself to a lot of things. I've worked with her on Niska Day, so I think that she's a great addition to the Tree Council. Any other discussion?
What's her name?
Oh, Portia Zwicker. I was wondering if she may, no, she's not here.
Councilmember,
That's not the name of the resolution.
Oh, maybe we did her last month? Oh, sorry, I missed it. I totally missed it. Sorry, but Portia, I still think you're cool. Okay. So this one I don't know as well, but I'm sure. Lovely. Can we do a
Councilmember,
second?
yes.
Okay.
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
All right, 2025-176, sponsored by Councilmember Delarada.
A resolution calling for a public hearing on a special use permit application to combine 17 and 25S Fagan Ave with the existing Kia automobile lot at 3900 State Street, removing the single-family home and extending the automobile sales lot to South Fagan Ave.
All right, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion on this? All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes on to 2025-177, sponsored by Councilmember Delarada.
A resolution accepting a land donation.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
This is the very small section of Catherine's Woods area that has been kicked around a bunch. This will help to make sure that nobody buys it thinking they can put a house on it because it's too small. So it was donated to the town so that we don't have that happen to anyone else who tries to do that. All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
Resolution passes on to 2025-178, sponsored by Councilmember Delarada.
A resolution accepting Phase 2 of the Town of Niskiuna's Natural Resource Inventory.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Ashok, for the presentation today and all your work on this. I know you're working really hard on it. I appreciate you. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I just want to thank Ashok and everyone on your committee for all the work that's been done with this natural resource inventory. Great work.
All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
Resolution passes on to 2025-179, sponsored by Councilmember Moskowitz and Councilmember Delarada.
A resolution awarding a contract for a drainage study for Plum Street and
Tributary.
tributaries.
Think you'd have a second?
It all.
Second.
Any discussion on this? I'm looking forward to getting this started. We'll share some more information as we get into it, but I think this is going to be a great study. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
The resolution passes on to 2025-180, sponsored by Councilmember Delarada.
A resolution adopting community greenhouse gas inventory for Niskiuna's Climate Smart Community Program.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Thank you, Laura, for sending that information over. I didn't go over all of it, but the key piece here is that we're doing really well as a town as far as greenhouse gas emissions, much better than other municipalities are. So we're in a good place. Any other discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
Resolution passes on to 2025-181, sponsored by Councilmember Delarada.
A resolution authorizing the submittal of a grant application through the 2025 Climate Smart Community Grant Program for funding to complete Niskiuna's Safe Routes to School Sidewalk Project.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
Resolution passes on to 2025-182, sponsored by Councilmember McFarland.
A resolution hiring seasonal workers in the Office of Community Programs.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Just making sure we pick everybody up for the summer. All right. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Cassidy Dorian.
Yes.
4 ayes.
Resolution passes. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.